There we go. We are recording. We are live. We are into it. As promised, we spoke about it last week on the video, but we're going to go through extra price points from the shopping list video we did last week when it was 50p to a pound. This week, me and Connor, Football Manager, we are going to be looking at the sub 50p market. Okay, so back again, as you just heard me say there, back with Connor at FI Manager. Thanks for coming back, Connor.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. Yeah, looking forward to doing this episode. I think I'd say there'll be a lot of interest in this one. You know, there's a lot of activity happening this lower end of the market.
Yeah, and it was really pleasing to see as well. I was saying to you when we were messaging, I was not really online much this week, but I did manage to get a bit. I was up the campuses, if anyone knows where they are. It's in Scotland, but I managed to get a little bit of signal, and like 3 or 4 tweets all come in at the same time, and it was about Maxwell Cornet. I'm up the top of this mountain, right? Basically, and me and the missus, and my phone starts beeping. And I'm like, Maxwell Cornet is fucking, he's trending, he's rising. I'm always really happy to see stuff like that, you know, after you talk about somebody or whatever. But it was even more pleasing because it was off the back of that collab videos, sort of thing. So that was a really quick turnaround on him, which was great.
Oh, definitely. Like I didn't actually expect a sort of, you know, none of the picks we put forward were, you know, real quick short term sort of holds. So I wasn't expecting anything like that. But as we had said then tweets, you know, any transfer rumors like this are just a bonus. And yeah, there doesn't need to be any truth in them. The rumors.
Huh? Especially this a rumour to Liverpool because it's a very imaginable transfer. You know what I mean?
Oh well, a part of me as well. You know, like any rumor I see now with Liverpool, I just assume it's rubbish because they go about their business now so discreetly. But if you do look at him, he, you know, yeah, he's young, he's quite raw. He almost is the sort of player that you could see Klopp, you know, liking to work with, or you know, molding him into a better player. So here, for our picks, yeah, if there's truth in the rumor, all the better. So I hope somebody.
Sorry, I was going to say, being like a great understudy for like Manny. Yeah, I mean, you could imagine Klopp pitching it to him like that. Yeah, I mean, like come and work under Sadio, and then when he leaves next year, the year after, you're the man.
Yeah, you know, plus they're we're kind of
backup at Lyon is not as good as being a backup at Liverpool.
Yeah, like we're building a few. Plus, there's a lot of African players at Liverpool now as well. You know, so yeah, there's now that you bring up some points, maybe there's some truth in it.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is I've been holding Pepe forever, and it's like the main link is Liverpool. You know, but Liverpool, they're not going to spend 70 million, 80 million on somebody who is going to make their front three unhappy. Yeah, I mean, because they love the fact they're playing together every week and they can, you know, be free and go for it. So,
yeah, and there's a big preference at the minute. I like it. There's a lot of focus at the minute. Liverpool, you know, their wage structure and things. You know, so if a big transfer came in, you know, that would, you know, there's a potential that'll upset the balance, and someone could walk in and be the highest wage earner, and there's loads of things like that, their wages and their kind of the mentality, their attitude that Klopp prioritizes. So yeah, it's a tricky one. You don't want to upset the balance.
No, definitely. Sorry, I've actually had my phone locked there. We've went totally off topic. That's my fault. I'm really sorry. But so the category we're back into today is the 0 to 50p category, and on the screen now we've got Connor's first pick, Ander Herrera. Connor, tell us about Herrera.
Yeah, so like as everyone will know, you know, he just played there he played for Man United, and he's just recently there about a week or two ago moved to PSG. So one thing, you know, it caught me eye. Like obviously, we all know like Herrera is he's a tidy player. At times he can be great, and then there was times he went off the boil with United. But as we know, he wasn't starting all the time. He wasn't playing a full 90 minutes. There's times he'd be in and out of favour. So he's 29 years old. He'll be coming 30, you see, in a couple of months. So another reason why his price is what it is at, which is 44p. But Herrera is a very, very gifted footballer, and something I find interesting was it's a 5-year contract, and it's 350,000 a week. So 5 years.
5-year deal?
Yeah, 5 years. So this, like, I thought maybe two or three max. So 5-year deal for somebody that's going to turn 30 when they start their season. So that shows to me that they're, he's not warming the bench. At minimum, he'll be getting, you'd imagine like 20 plus games. But I would like to think then with that, 5-year contract that he's going to be starting, I can picture him taking Rabiot's place in the team basically and playing alongside Verratti.
Well,
So like if it was for that position, his competition would be, the other guy Paredes.
mhm.
Um, and he had an average mediocre season, and then obviously there's that young guy in Kunku or however you pronounce it, but so he's still young and getting bed in the team. They did buy Sarabia, but he'll be playing in a more advanced role. So I think I can see Ander Herrera playing a lot of games here. Um, so there's the potential. One thing I did take note of was the prices of the other midfielders in his position. So who I mentioned there, who had an average kind of season Paredes 67p, so that there's a 50p rise, from Herrera.
Yeah,
Verratti, he's 85p. Draxler's 85. I know he plays in a more advanced role. And Nkunku is 89, and obviously that's inflated with his, a young age. But
yeah,
it's around that price bracket, the 80 plus. Particularly I'm looking at Verratti there. And Verratti is, he's good for the PB kind of side of things.
no, definitely. And I was just looking on one of the screenshots I've got here, if you can see the screen, but it was actually Man United's second highest rated player on whoscored.com. Fair enough, it's only a very small fraction ahead of Rashford there, but it speaks volumes. He didn't play very much that season there, but I think we all
Yeah,
recognise, like you said at the beginning, we all know who he is. He's a very tidy player, box to box, line to line, tackles and passes, and gets stuck in all over the pitch.
yeah.
Um,
Like he is, he's a very all round midfielder, and then as you say, he's playing for United, who didn't have the best of seasons. But look at the effect that's had on like Rashford's price, for example. Um, if United hit the ground running next year, Rashford's price would go way up. But Herrera, yeah, he never did get to cement his place in that team. Um, so whenever I was looking at his stats, yeah, so he played 24 games, but I think 18 of them was it either 18 starts maybe, or maybe it was 18 coming as a sub. No, it can't be 18 to come as a sub. Maybe a bit too much.
in the league,
Um,
it was 16 starts, 6 off the bench in the league.
aye. And then so minutes per game then. So it gives you an idea. It was 66. So that's not a lot then, and obviously that's going to have a negative impact on his PB. But in saying that, his average PB from that is 69. Um, so like that's nearly an average of 1 PB per minute, So if he is playing a full 90 minutes, he's getting closer to an average PB at 90, just by going by those stats. But his rating, yeah, was 6.96, goals 0.1, assists 0.2. You're not expecting really, really high figures from Herrera in that regard, but you would maybe expect, yeah, maybe more assists and stuff. And that's what could kind of get him winning any potential PB. Pass is 62.8, really, really high figure there. Which is what I love to see for central midfielders. That plays a big, big part on their average PB and their baseline PB. Key pass is 1, cross is 0.4, which you kind of expect to be low for someone in his position. But
Yeah,
defensively, he contributes very well. So tackles is 6 per game and interceptions 2.4. So that's a lot. So as you say, that kind of box to box element of his game, he is quite a all round kind of complete midfielder. Um, so that player there is basically going into a PSG team, into a much more dominant team in in a league that they're much more dominant against everyone else in their league. It's much less competitive.
no,
Um,
definitely.
I
I
just
was just
think
going through.
there's so much potential for him, basically.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was just going through the screenshots I'd taken, and I kind of got myself muddled with what one was what again. But this is the season that you've just walked us through there, what's on screen now. And then just here, this is not the last season, but the season gone. This is the season where Man United won both the cups. And you can see the amount of minutes he's put in there versus, this season and the
Yeah,
impact that's had on all his numbers, key passing, interceptions, all that stuff as well. And then there's a wee overview here of his time in Spain. So even if you look at his last season there, because obviously France is a lower level than the Premier League, we all know and accept that.
yeah,
But when this guy was in La Liga, let's call it 5 years ago, he'd been let's just call him 24, right? Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'll even say 23, right? 31 games, 5 goals, 5 assists, 7 yellow cards. Obviously, tackling a lot. So to be playing La Liga at 24 versus playing in France at 29, 30, I'd probably say that's a level playing field, if you know what I mean, in terms of how much of an impact on matches you're likely to have, given, your durability as a sportsman in each competition at each stage of your career,
Yeah.
Playing 31 games in Spain versus playing however many you forecasted, let's even just say 20 in France, keeps his energy levels high. And like you said as well, like, he'll be playing a lot, see that 5-year contract thing. I think you've hit the nail on the head with that. Because if you think about the stuff the chairman's come out and said, all the Neymar stuff, is he wants the team to have an ethic, and he's really the chairman now is really he's passing it down the line. This is what's going to happen, and then straight away they go and sign Ander Herrera on a 5-year contract. It's a proper statement that this guy is going to be the embodiment of what the chairman's after now. It's not Neymar; it's a Herrera type player,
No, it's completely right. It really stood out to me. Yeah, when I saw it was 5 years. I had it like friggin' thought I read it wrong. Because I knew what age he was. So, and the amount of money. Just when we're going back to talking about Liverpool, like no Liverpool player is even over 300,000 a week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting 350 at a 5-year contract. So certainly, like I'd imagine this is their replacement for Rabiot. For the at least kind of short medium term, with maybe people like Nkunku coming up and stuff. But there is a limit. There's a ceiling here, as we've kind of touched on at the start. I think it's I can easily see him getting into that 80p to 90p bracket, but that's 100%, and that could potentially be a very easy 100%, especially if he hits the ground running. And then, as we know, obviously it's a bonus when you're playing for a team that's in Europe. There's going to be more opportunities, triple match days. Like he has some good top 5 PB scores. His top is 217, so at least he's got one over 200. And his other 4 then are 171, 159, and 152, and another 152. So he can do it. He's that sort of player, got a good average, and he can contribute with assists and goals. And surely it's just going to be easier for him at PSG. The only concern is if he doesn't kind of bed into the team straight away or something. But no, I'm pretty confident with this one.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I'm just looking on the screen now. We've got, like, from WhoScored.com, PSG's strengths and weaknesses, and it's really the weaknesses bit that caught my attention. And it's basically, with the exception of aerial duels, it's everything that you would expect from what Herrera brings to your midfield, if you know what I mean. Help you protecting the lead and hold it. Soon you say they're avoiding offside. What that basically tells you, if you understand football, and I'm not saying anyone here doesn't, right? But that means balls are coming from midfield into the forwards, and that's what breaks your offside trap 9 times out of 10. Maybe a fullback, maybe a winger for a striker. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the time, if teams are breaking offsides, it's balls coming deep from midfield and slicing open a channel for somebody to run onto. And again, you'd expect him to be in amongst all that. And then opponents creating chances. Again, the defence will stop you conceding a goal or whatever, right? The defence doesn't control how many chances they concede. The defence are there to stop chances. Where chances are created is deeper up the pitch or higher up the pitch, from other teams' fullbacks in midfield, So I can see him make a really big impact in this team, and see if he does. Everything you were saying on top of like treble match days and whatever. See if I was to tell you right now in February that February coming up, PSG will still be in Europe. You would say, duh, of course they are. So again, when you get to that point of the season and treble match days become even more valuable because there's less and less teams involved in them, then a midfielder like the one we're describing now is a valuable person to have in your portfolio.
And another point as well is we all know how valuable having any sort of link to Man United is, so even being an ex-United player, that holds value in terms of just any potential media. Not that this hold is going to be a sort of NB hold, but it's only whenever you're making these trades, you're looking for all these little pros, and that's just another one. Being linked to United.
Even for him getting 40 media points, that'll help him price-wise on the index. There's no two ways about that. Doesn't he win media for it to be profitable? Even 40 points, gets his name seen by more people. Oh, is he playing well there? Oh wow, maybe he's worth something, and that's what it takes half the time, with that, especially this price branding we're talking about. And then the last thing I've got on the screen, I think it's last screenshot I've got along with Herrera is basically PSG's opening fixtures.
Yeah.
So you can see there the friendlies in the Super Cup. They're also non-qualifying, and again, these are fixtures you will want to keep your eyes on if you're holding anyone in Paris. You want to see who's playing under the manager, who's maybe, are you watching anyone coming back from injury, that type of thing. But when I was looking at this as well in preparation for the video, I was thinking, right, okay, you also have IPDs for 30 days. We all know that at this point. The first 5 fixtures, the start of the season, the 11th of August, and then the Lyon match. If you can have everything bar the Lyon match, that would be a great 30 days. Unfortunately, it's like 35 days or something like that.
Yeah.
So it then becomes a choice of, is it going to be more expensive or cheaper before the opening game of the season or before the second game of the season? Because that's a great chunk to try and get some IPDs around, if you can buy them around there,
Yeah.
And that's really a decision I'd be making on them personally, because I've, based on everything, if this is the price brand that anyone's shopping in, it's a great position to be buying into, but you want to be maximising how much money they can put in your pocket, and it's not always about actually netting the IPDs into your account, but again, if they net IPDs and you've held them for 3 months, you'll have them at a much better price than anyone who buys them on that day that he scored his goal or got his assist or whatever it might be, So it's just even definitely. That that's the point of selling that situation. If you've bought, let's just say Herrera today, 44 pence, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, as I say, when we get to December, he's, maybe done well in a single match day and scored a goal, and even though you might not be getting the money for that goal, the capital appreciation that is earned because other people are buying into him on that day and then, people are buying him. So that's the point, or as a point, you could be selling some of that because people are buying him. He's hot. You're not going to be having it hanging about your portfolio for weeks.
Yeah, like if you have a player, especially in this price bracket, and let's say even your intention is to hold them for throughout the season, but yeah, with players like this at this price point, if they have one really good performance, people jump on, and kind of some people would trade just to get on and get the in-play dividends for that day. But yeah, players like this, there's the possibility that you can get a lot of spikes throughout the season. So that's a lot of opportunities for you to sell and just take your profits.
Yeah, definitely. It looks to be a great season ahead for him, all the same. Sorry, I went too far on that thing. What was I going to say? Sorry, I've just totally.
Oh, don't worry.
Sorry, I'm just.
Well, sure. That's kind of all I planned to say on Herrera. That's all my points covered anyway, I think. But yeah, so I think there's a good potential to have up to 100% profit in him. Could be months or
100%. I'll need to be doing some editing on this video, I think, later on. But my pick basically for today is Manuel Neuer. Okay, so on the 3-month graph, you can see there's been a very steady rise. He's basically just come back from a big injury, and that's why his price was so low to start with, and it's crept back up. Since the introduction of IPDs, goalkeepers have now finally got something they can actually be useful for on the index, which prior to that, there was absolutely no point in holding them. Even these ball-playing goalkeepers that we all praise, like your Alissons and Edersons or whatever, it's very rare they win best defender/goalkeeper on a treble match day, single match day, anything. It's just so rare. Because fullbacks in the mix and other things, it's just so hard for them to actually win anything like that themselves. So when you're looking at goalkeepers, and this is something we'll come to probably at another point as well, but you're really trading on those clean sheets, when they come in and how many competitions are they playing at the start. And the thing about goalkeepers is, if you know the goalkeeper for a team, the chances of them playing every match is fairly high, because goalkeepers are not a position in the league, and then the qualifying competitions on the platform are going to be rotated. Fair enough, they might be dropped for cup games, but it only strengthens the reason to hold them. They're less likely to get any sort of freak injury or whatever if they're not playing unnecessary matches. So Neuer at the moment at 49 pence, he's just under that 50p bracket that we're kind of looking at now. I've kind of went on and just kind of opened up some stuff about him. There's nothing I can really tell you about Neuer that nobody would know already, but the way Bayern Munich have set out their policy so far, they've been buying a lot of defenders And even though their defence is amazing in Germany already, it looks like it's only going to be getting stronger. You know, like if we look at last season in the league, they conceded 32 goals in 34 games, and the majority of that was with their second choice goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You know, so the chance for clean sheets is there, to say the least. You know, when we look at their opening fixtures, and sorry, I'll bring you in this in a second, Connor. I'm just kind of just laying this.
Oh no, you work away.
But again, even the first three matches there, you accept that they'll probably concede against Leipzig. But other than that, maybe Schalke away is sketchy, but there's space there for clean sheets, no problem at all. And the thing as well with goalkeepers, right, is if you look at them long term, Neuer's point out the best example of the graph I'd like to show you. But if you look at somebody who we've held before, Handanovic, or even De Gea is good for this as well. You'll see that that this is probably quite a good example, even though it's been in the off season, you know. But you see that they wave a lot. There's a lot of blue lines there. You can hardly see the black. They fluctuate in price very quickly, you know. And these are players that you can trade in and out of. You know, over a couple of match periods and be up and then wait for them to dip back down and get back on again. And for the price that Neuer's at the now, all the stuff we're chatting about, you know, with Herrera and IPDs, you can hear with De Gea, he's also had some media spec recently as well, but you find that they're all very blue. You know, there's lots of movement in them up and down, but it's never by much. It's very, very small increments, especially the off season, of course. But the prices at the now, and you know, when you look at the most expensive goalkeepers, you know, they're also younger and they pass more and are likely to score more on the matrix and whatever. But Neuer can do all that stuff as well, you know, and he's probably a little bit overlooked at the moment because he has been injured, you know. I know that's basically everything I've got to say on it, to be honest with you, but I think under 50p he offers you good value to make some money, release that from him, and then wait for him to go back down and then put that money back in, you know, and then just kind of flip him up and down. You know, I think that's the sort of way you would hold him. But at 49 pence, you could have a lot of fun doing that, make some money on it, and then what I've used goalkeepers for in the past quite a lot is maybe money I don't know what to do with, you know. It's just, you know what, this guy, he could get one clean sheet this month, no problem. I'll just buy 50 of him. He's 60 pence, you know. And then when I want that money, I'll wait for him to get his clean sheet, sell him, and do whatever, you know.
Yeah, so they are cheap. Like, so if you have money in your balance and it's not enough to get somebody you really want, I've done that before. Maybe a wee short-term flip with a goalkeeper. But yeah, as you say, it's hard to say anything more about Neuer. You know, everyone knows everything about him. You know, if you look at other price goalkeepers, you know, Ter Stegen is only a 1p higher than him. But then, as you say, I think like De Gea is in the 70s. Alisson, I think he obviously won the Champions League, but you know he's up at 89p. So it'd be interesting to kind of compare him, you know, with the other goalkeepers at the other top clubs. It'll give people it would give you an idea then of how high he could go. And then for people thinking of getting on at him, you could identify a 30-day period with really, really pleasing fixtures for Bayern, you know, where they wouldn't expect to be losing never, you know, or conceding at all. So there's plenty of windows, especially for that. In this price bracket, you can dip in and out.
Yeah, totally. And as I say, the only thing you can trade on goalkeepers is those clean sheets, really. And if there was some freak situation where they maybe took a penalty or something as well and managed to win a treble match day, you know, or something like that, then it's just an absolute Brucey bonus, you know. But when you price compare, as you say, if you're only buying them for the potential to get a clean sheet and earn you a pence per share, you know, there's not much point in spending 80 pence, 90 pence on a goalkeeper, you know, when there's great ones down. Especially, you know, Neuer, I mean, I'd probably say out all the top leagues, you know, again, if I told you, you know, Bayern Munich were going to get the most clean sheets domestically this season, you probably wouldn't have too much of a fight on your hands with most people.
Yeah. Oh, no, I completely agree. Yeah. No, you see, he does seem quite a bit low, you know, you know, compared to some other goalkeepers, you know, if looking at the other clubs who top their own domestic league, you know, he might be the cheapest out of all of them.
Yeah, and then there's Champions League and everything else, of course.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that's been part one, guys, of shopping list 0 to 50p. We kind of babbled on a little bit at the beginning about things that weren't too relevant, but hey, hope you enjoyed it all the same. Check down in the description below for the link to part 2 that'll be on Connor's channel on FI Manager, Football Index Manager. If you're new around here, guys, Subscribe to the channel, like, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Thanks again for having us on the video today, Connor, as well.
Yep, thanks very much. And yeah, as you say, we'll see you all at the part 2 video.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Chat to you soon. Ta-da.